If the nearly 5 years since Okami was first released has you jonesing for some cute wolf wielding celestial paintbrush action, well, you're in luck. Okamiden, a direct sequel to Okami, picks right up where the original left off. The game follows the story of Chibi, an adorable white wolf who just happens to be the son of Amaterasu, the hero from the first game. For those who missed Okami, it's basically an action-adventure game along the lines of Zelda, with exploration and puzzles that revolve around a celestial paintbrush. Even if you haven't played the first one, though, Okamiden is a great place to jump in. You won't understand some of the Okami references, but it won't affect your enjoyment of the game at all. Fans of the original will be pleased to hear that Okamiden shares the same gameplay mechanics, gorgeous painterly art style, and quirky sense of humor as Okami. Okamiden still takes place in the world of Nippon, which, despite Ami's best efforts, is once again being plagued by evil demons. The story feels familiar, but also brings plenty of new characters, locations, and plot points to the table to make it worth your while. The graphics are beautiful, and the scope of the world is impressive for a handheld title. While it does suffer from some minor frame rate issues at times, it's a small price to pay for such a large world to explore. The narrative it weaves is simply beautiful, and the characters are incredibly lovable. From Isun the Flea to Susanoo the Drunken Warrior, familiar faces from Okami are all around. Even new characters are just as memorable and lovable as old faves, especially Kuni, whose story is truly moving. After debuting on the PS2 and later the Wii, this series has finally found the ideal control scheme for its brush techniques with the DS's touchscreen. Using the stylus to wield the celestial paintbrush for power slashes, cherry bombs, and so on is not only intuitive, but just plain feels right. While you do repeat the same brush techniques ad infinitum, they're always fun. Of course, it also helps that the pacing is incredibly well done, always keeping things interesting and exciting. One big disappointment is that brush techniques can't really be stacked together, combined, or varied to create new results, leaving you with the feeling that this brush is more of a handyman's tool for overcoming simple obstacles than an artistic device. While I always enjoyed reusing the same brush techniques, I did wish there had been a little more complexity there. And therein lies Okamiden's biggest flaw. Other than sometimes not being sure where to go, there is rarely a time in Okamiden when I felt stumped, which is a shame for such a puzzle-heavy game. Need more light? Draw sun. Need those clothes to dry? Draw sun. Need that flower to grow? You get the picture. While the simplicity of the gameplay is most certainly not a deal-breaker, it's a decently sized detractor from the game's fun factor. The only time I really felt like I was in the midst of a real head-scratcher was during boss fights, and it was only for an occasional fleeting moment. Okamiden also adds a brand new partner system, pairing Chibi with a variety of different buddies to help him throughout his journey. These partners help Chibi solve various puzzles, such as helping him access new areas he couldn't get to alone. The system is a nice new touch, and one that helps further connect you to the myriad of new characters. Even though Okamiden has the misfortune of being the last big release on the DS before 3DS fever hits, it is a wonderful title that should not be ignored. If you loved the original or you're a fan of heartwarming Japanese adventure games, do not pass this one up. For more info on Okamiden, head on over to IGN.com.